Hi, my name's Pete Unsworth and I'm here to give you a brief overview of Blackboard Collaborate, and this is aimed at ITS technicians at the University of Salford. This is basically to make you aware of the existence of Blackboard Collaborate and your responsibilities as an ITS technician in its use. Blackboard Collaborate used to be known as Illuminate Live for a while, and then it got purchased by Blackboard and has been rebadged as Collaborate. All staff computers and pool room computers are expected to be able to run Blackboard Collaborate, and all staff who want to use it are expected to have attended training given by HRD in its use. As ITS technicians, you're not expected to know how to use Collaborate in any great detail, just some basic, simple things. Staff will use Collaborate in pool rooms for recording of live web conferences or to record a live lecture. They will also will use it in their own personal offices to perhaps pre-record a lecture which later will be made available to students. As ITS technicians, you may be called upon when Collaborate is not opening on a PC in a particular room, and this brief demonstration will give you some information on how to resolve the current known issues with Collaborate. So first, an overview of what Blackboard Collaborate is. It's basically a live web conferencing tool for delivering classes online, for meetings of all types, for pre-recording lecture material, and attending online conferences and seminars. The benefits for using Collaborate help build a sense of community, particularly with distance learning students. Extends the geographical reach of the university, therefore students can attend from anywhere in the world, and obviously there are major cost savings in attending meetings and lectures online, both for staff and for students. And one of the main benefits is recording classes to allow learners to access the recordings at any time, which are designed to help in revision for revision purposes. So currently it's being used at the University of Salford by a couple of schools. Soby is the main, School of Built Environment is the main user at the moment, but the university wants to roll out Collaborate in all schools to extend the distance learning student numbers at Salford. It should also be used for international research projects or national research projects, which have got major benefits in time and cost saving implications. We're currently going to roll out personal tutoring using Blackboard Collaborate to offer students the option of attending a virtual personal tutoring session, and it can also be used for virtual open days. In fact, the number of uses of Collaborate are limitless basically, but these are some of the ways it's being used at the university at the moment. So the picture on the screen is basically how Collaborate looks for a user who is a moderator. I'll just explain briefly the interface is laid out by default as such. You've got the main content area, which is the large area of the screen where presentations are uploaded, or application sharing can go on, or any website can be put into that content area. On the left hand side you've got individual discrete panels which are fairly self-evident for what you can see. We've got the audio and video panel where you set your microphone and speakers. You've got a list of the participants who have logged into the session, and the bottom panel is a text chat facility where you can communicate with other participants as well as the moderator in the sessions. For academic staff, Collaborate sessions are created in the respective Blackboard modules by the module leader, and there are two ways of accessing Collaborate for students. Now, one is the main use of Collaborate, or the main access route for Collaborate will be through Blackboard modules. Any students that register to a module will get access to the session as long as it's been set up by the module leader, and a link will appear in the menu item for that particular module, which will give you a link to the Collaborate list page. The other method of accessing Collaborate, particularly for people who have not got university credentials and therefore can't log on to Blackboard, is to get access via a direct URL which is unique for the particular session that has been set up. Now, this URL can be emailed out to people that have not got the facility to log into Blackboard. You can also send a link to the session from within the live session. Once a link to a Collaborate session has been clicked, a JNLP file is downloaded to the PC, which contains the unique URL to that particular session. It's only about 8 kilobytes in size and doesn't take long to download at all. And if all is well, then this JNLP file will open Java Web Start, which in turn launches Blackboard Collaborate. It is obviously Java based. Now, one of the main things with Collaborate is that when it first opens, it asks the participant to select their connection type, i.e. wireless or LAN or modem, and this is quite crucial to give the participant the best experience of Collaborate by telling it what connection you are using, and it makes adjustments in the background of the software to enable the transfer of information. So we ask everyone to set this individually for each session they start. It is standard practice with Collaborate for any new user or any PC that's not used Collaborate before is to send them to the Collaborate support portal, which does an automatic check that they've got a supported operating system and a supported version of Java. This website, as I say, does an automatic check, and if you've not got the correct or a correct version of Java or Java at all, it will give you a link to download Java to the PC. Once that Java has been downloaded and installed, we ask the participants to go back to the website and go through the check again until they get the 2 green ticks that you can see on the page. Once it is established that you've got the supported operating system and support Java version, further down on this support portal page are the next step. Step 2 is to join a configuration room. Now, currently the configuration we're using in Collaborate is configuration room 12, but I believe shortly configuration room 12.5 will appear. But for the time being, if you select configuration room 12, you will then be directed to a Collaborate live session. It basically launches a test room in which you can then test your microphone and speakers. Once you know that you can get into a configuration room, it will be deemed that Collaborate is able to be used on your particular PC. In step 3 of this testing on this support portal page are resources in which you can join a live orientation of Collaborate. You can view an orientation of Collaborate, how it's used in relative detail, as well as all the learning materials. You can teach yourself how to use the discrete elements of Collaborate. Now, to get to a Collaborate session via Blackboard, you go into the relevant module and click on the Collaborate link in the menu item, and this takes you to the Collaborate list page, as you can see. Now here, you can see there are two tabs. The first tab is live sessions, and the other tab is recorded sessions. Now, for each of these tabs there is a search criteria where you set the date, the start date and the end date for which you want to search the server for your sessions which are related to this module. Now it defaults just from the current date you're in to 1 week ahead. Now you might want to search further back or further forward for sessions that are coming up. So just ensure that you select the relevant dates before you press go, and then once you click go, the relevant sessions will be displayed in the list, as you can see here. It's worth noting at this stage, for live sessions, it is typical that the links to the session only become live links approximately 30 minutes prior to the start of the session. Obviously we don't want participants or students going into sessions too early, because there's not going to be anything going on in there. So typically it's going to be 30 minutes prior to the start of a session when the link will become live. Now, as a technician, one of the main things that you may ask to assist with is to set up the headset or the microphone and speakers to the PC. Now this is done within Collaborate itself using what's called the Audio Setup Wizard, which can be accessed under the Tools menu, or there's an Audio Setup Wizard icon on the top of the interface. We ask each person when they enter a Collaborate session always to go through the Audio Setup Wizard prior to the session starting. This wizard basically connects the audio devices to the PC in Collaborate, and the Audio Setup Wizard basically asks you to select which speakers software you're using, gives you a choice if your PC has got optional PC output, audio output, as well as a microphone choice. So if once you've chosen your desired output speakers and microphone, you don't then hear anything. All you need to do is go back into the wizard and select one of the alternatives until you can hear yourself being played back in the audio. And occasionally what can happen is that another piece of software is blocking the use of the audio devices, and you need just to check on the PC that any other software is not basically blocking these devices. Now, as I've said, the audio connectivity is usually the main problem that people have with Blackboard Collaborate, but there are one or two other issues, and those I'm going to go into briefly now. Now, one of the main errors are connection failed errors, and this basically can occur under the following conditions: where the active connection is dropped, particularly if you're using a wireless router, security software is blocking the connection, or a router or network device is blocking the connection. Security or network rules are preventing connections over specific ports, communication ports, and also possibly network proxy preventing the connection. Now, it is typical that some of these errors mainly occur when distance learning students are connecting from their place of employment, and their network people have got different security settings and security devices, obviously for protection. But in all the cases, the way to troubleshoot these is first to make sure that they've got an active internet connection, and to check its stability of the connection, particularly with wireless. Attempt to access the Collaborate configuration room under the Blackboard Collaborate support portal, and it's very easily found just googling Blackboard Collaborate support. And verify that the PC security software is allowing Java to access illuminate.com and blackboard.com. They are the basic URLs which are required. And check the ports to ensure that the ports are open and accessible to Illuminate and collaborate.com. The port details can be found from Collaborate support portal as well. There's no point in giving them over this demonstrational video too much detail. And also verify that any proxy configurations allow access to Collaborate and Blackboard. Another error that you may come across is the unable to launch application error. Now this is normally due to problems with the Java resources file that are required to run Blackboard Collaborate. And it's often caused when there's a problem with the Java cache or the Java deployment folder. Now the way to troubleshoot this is to ensure that you are connected to the internet and that the connection is active. Clear the internet browser cache is the first step, and if that's doesn't solve the problem, go into the control panel and find Java in control panel and clear the Java cache in there. Try again. If you're still having problem, then the next step that you would be advised to do is to delete and reinstall Java completely. When the Blackboard Collaborate technical support people are approached with problems, the first thing they do is basically tell you to delete your Java cache. This is basically an all-encompassing fix for the Java software, and in my experience tends to work very frequently when they've got problems on this. The last thing to do is verify that any proxy settings are able to launch the application. Now, very seldomly you'll come across a problem with the Java itself, and these are generally connected to the fact that the user doesn't have permission to install Java on the particular PC. And this is common, as I've mentioned before, with distance learning students that are connecting from their workplace. So what needs to be done is that, again, you verify that there's a stable connection, that there's enough disk space on the PC, and that it meets the minimum requirements. Also verify that the system is not overloaded and competing for software. All applications that are not crucial are closed down before running. Verify that the computer has been restarted and the clear memory system for completing resources. Close all programs basically. And the main one is verify that permissions are available to install the Java WebStart application. And finally, one of the errors that you may come across is the session launch error. Now this is typically come about from the fact that you try to access a session too far ahead in advance, and you just get an error message. Basically it asks you to come back closer to the time of the session, start to view its details. Another cause, if you've been sent the direct URL and it is basically a long DR URL, some software doesn't allow links to wrap over 2 lines, and it may cause a problem. What you may have to do is copy the link from the application and paste it into your browser in one go. That occasionally causes a problem. And you've copied only a portion of the link into your browser's area. Okay. Another obviously potential problem is that the session could have been deleted prior to it starting, just an administration thing, or maybe it may have been cancelled. And if when a JNLP file or a link to a session is clicked and the PC opens it in a different piece of software, typically a text document. It basically indicates that the file association, misassociation has occurred, and it's trying to open the JNLP file in the wrong application. What you need to do then is just basically go into Control Panel and reassociate the JNLP file with Java Web Start. That happens very seldomly, but it is a potential problem. If you get this session launch error, it could indicate that it's opening in the wrong application. So those are a few of the errors that you might come across in trying to get Collaborate opening on a PC. A great resource of information is the Blackboard Collaborate support portal, as I've already mentioned. This page is the link to the first time users. They just click this link for first time users getting started. It takes them to that page where they can do the test. It tests automatically that they've got the supported operating system and Java version, but also they can get linked to the training documentation, which includes small video clips as well as all the PDF documents for Collaborate training as a moderator or a participant. This support portal also gives them direct access to the Collaborate technical support people when there's a 24-hour, 7 days a week helpline. The other thing to remember is that myself and a few other members of the team in HRD can also offer support for you if you're having trouble getting Collaborate working on a PC. Please give us a ring on 52444 and select the appropriate option for HRD. We come under the Blackboard, so it's option 5. That's it for this demonstration, apart from the fact if you would like to go to the website below, listed below, to fill in a quick survey on how you like this instructional demonstration on Collaborate, that'd be great. Thank you very much for your time.